Tonight, there are some new demands for accountability and legislation. Families that saw their special needs trust drained or frozen are now calling for something to be done to get their money back as well as prevent it from happening again.
And 8 on Your Side has told you $100 million vanished from a local trust administration. The founder of that nonprofit stands accused of taking and not repaying that money. Investigator Brittany Muller joins us live in studio.
Stacey, Keith, good evening to you both. We've been asking what can be done. These families that I've spoken with want to see legislation so something like this never happens again. I turned to Senator Rick Scott, who was in Tampa this morning, to ask what he could do. Since the Center for Special Needs Trust Administration filed for bankruptcy in February, these are the families that have been living in agony. A month ago, we turned to the center's spokesperson, Beth Latham.
Is someone overseeing, or is there oversight for a trust fund management company like this center? Is there a state government agency that oversees the center?
Not that I'm aware of.
Latham says there is no oversight of the St. Pete nonprofit that administers more than 2,000 vulnerable people's trusts and manages more than $200 million. The center says half of that money has vanished. Remember, this is a special type of trust set up for people who received a settlement from a catastrophic personal injury lawsuit so they can still receive government benefits.
Nobody went and checked all this time? And the money's just gone?
No more trusts. This is a system that obviously does not work, and it is potentially harmful to the very people that it was established for.
Victims, loved ones, attorneys are calling for accountability after the center says its founder, Leo Gavani, loaned the money to his company, Boston Finance Group, between 2009 and 2020 and has not repaid it. In an email, Gavani's attorney told me, at this time, we have no comment.
There's a complete lack of oversight for these third-party run companies that are meant to protect the monies for the most vulnerable people in our community.
The people who were administering this need to be held accountable to their right as a fiduciary in taking care and safeguarding these people's money. And it sounds like none of those things took place.
Vulnerable people left in the dark, not knowing what's next as this case makes its way through federal bankruptcy court.
And I can tell you that all the victims want change and they want legislative action and oversight.
So I went to Senator Rick Scott, who was in Tampa on Monday, to ask him directly.
As a legislator, what would you tell these families in such a dire need?
First off, we need to make sure if you're a fiduciary, you do your job as a fiduciary.
Senator Scott says he will look into this. His office told me these trusts are authorized and regulated under the Social Security Administration. So I asked SSA. We have not heard back just yet.
When it comes to trust administrations like this center, we're turning to you because families are asking for laws to be put in place. Can you enact a law or a bill?
I'll look at it. First off, that would surprise me. That would surprise me if there's no oversight, but I'll find out, and if so, I'll propose something.
We're staying on this. This is one of several state legislators who say they're looking into the center and it's missing funds.
Well, Brittany, these families are living in chaos right now. What do they need to know? Because you keep pulling back layers on this.
Right. So last week we told you about the Unsecured Creditors Committee and the committee that represents the victims in this case. On a website called Epic, there's a new tab for that committee. It lays out the deadlines and the information to help the victims. We'll be posting it all on our website, WFLA, along with this story. And again, if you're a victim and you've been impacted, we want to continue to hear from you. We will tell your stories.
Senator Scott said he wasn't aware that no one's overseeing this, but you're seeing that, right?
Well, he says that I should also reach out to the Social Security's office. There's so many loose ends to this that we are tracking down every time we learn information.
I'm just thinking, as he says that, well, that's one of those sound bites that could come back to haunt you if you don't know, if there is something going on there. So I know you'll stay on it, Senator Rick Scott, and we'll see what he has to do going forward. Thank you, Brittany. If you have something you'd like Brittany to investigate, you can call the 8 on Your Side helpline, 1-800-338-0808.